On October 21, 2025, Japan made history in a way that captured the attention of the entire world. On this day, Sanae Takaichi was sworn in as the nation's first female prime minister, shattering a glass ceiling that had stood for generations in Japanese politics. Takaichi, long recognized for her staunch conservatism and unwavering loyalty to the late Shinzo Abe, has always stood out in a political landscape dominated by men. Her ascent to the highest office marks a pivotal turning point, not only for women in Japan, but for the country's political culture as a whole. Her leadership is seen as a dual symbol, a breakthrough for gender equality, and a renewed commitment to Abe's nationalist vision. Takaichi has promised to uphold a strong national defense, maintain a tough stance on China, and reinforce Japan's position as a key player in the region's security and diplomacy. Under her guidance, Japan is expected to take on a more proactive regional role, strengthening alliances and building new partnerships across Asia and beyond. Yet, Takaichi's rise has not been without controversy. Her opposition to progressive reforms, including issues like same-sex marriage and gender quotas, has sparked heated debate both inside and outside the Diet. Her repeated visits to the controversial Yasukuni Shrine, a site that honors Japan's war dead and stirs strong emotions in neighboring countries, have drawn sharp criticism and fueled diplomatic tensions. Takaichi's traditionalist views on imperial succession, especially her resistance to allowing women to ascend the chrysanthemum throne, have also attracted scrutiny from both domestic reformers and the international community. But Takaichi's influence extends far beyond policy debates. Her signature accessory, the Grace Delight tote, has become a viral sensation, embraced by young women and seen as a symbol of modern Japanese pride. The bag's popularity reflects how political figures can shape not just policy, but also culture and identity. This phenomenon, dubbed the Takaichi effect, demonstrates the power of a leader's image to influence consumer trends and even national sentiment, as Hamano Inc. struggles to keep up with surging demand. As she steps into power, Takaichi embodies both continuity and change, anchoring Japan's future in its storied past, while also breaking new ground for women and conservatives alike. With the world's eyes on Japan, the coming years will reveal how Takaichi's leadership will redefine the nation's role at home and on the global stage. At the core of Takaichi's agenda is the revival of Abenomics, the ambitious economic strategy pioneered by her mentor, former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe. Takaichi has long admired Abe's bold approach to revitalizing Japan's economy, and now she seeks to carry that torch forward, adapting it for a new era. She promises to double down on its core principles, stimulating growth through aggressive monetary easing, countering China's expanding influence in the region, and restoring Japan's economic dynamism on the world stage. Takaichi's vision is not just about numbers, it's about reigniting national confidence and ensuring Japan remains competitive in a rapidly changing global landscape. Dubbed Sananomics, her approach adapts Abe's playbook to today's realities, focusing on building resilient supply chains, accelerating digital transformation across industries, and responding to heightened global tensions. She emphasizes innovation, investment in technology, and supporting Japanese businesses to thrive in the face of international competition. Takaichi's close connection to Abe reassures conservatives and markets alike, signaling stability and continuity at a time of uncertainty. Her leadership is seen as a bridge between the legacy of Abenomics and the demands of a new economic era. By evolving Abenomics for 2025 and beyond, she aims to deliver sustainable growth, create high-quality jobs, and reinforce Japan's status as an economic powerhouse in Asia and the world. Her policies are designed to benefit both large corporations and small businesses, ensuring broad-based prosperity. Her strategy is both a tribute to Abe's enduring influence and a bold step forward, leveraging nostalgia to legitimize her own vision while introducing fresh ideas. Takaichi seeks to unite the party and the public behind a renewed sense of purpose. The stakes are high. Success could cement her legacy as the leader who finally broke Japan's economic stagnation, ushering in a new era of prosperity and global leadership for the nation. The first arrow of Sananomics is aggressive monetary easing, keeping interest rates ultra-low to stimulate economic activity and encourage borrowing. This involves flooding markets with liquidity, ensuring that there is ample money available for businesses and consumers to spend and invest. The Bank of Japan will continue massive asset purchases, propping up markets and ensuring cheap borrowing for businesses and consumers. This strategy aims to boost economic growth and stave off deflation. Takaichi's team is betting on a repeat of early Abenomics, a weaker yen, rising stocks, and lower unemployment. They believe these measures will create a more robust economic environment. However, critics warn of significant risks: asset bubbles, strained banks, and potential financial instability. They argue that years of easy money have led to diminishing returns, making it harder to achieve the desired economic outcomes. Yet, Takaichi insists that tightening monetary policy now would be far riskier than staying the course. She believes that maintaining an accommodative stance is crucial for long-term growth. For her, an accommodative monetary environment is non-negotiable, the foundation for growth and the key to escaping deflation. She views it as essential for fostering a stable and prosperous economy. The challenge remains: can this policy still deliver results in a changed global landscape? With shifting economic dynamics, the effectiveness of these measures is under scrutiny. The answer will define the early days of her economic experiment, setting the stage for Japan's financial future. The second arrow is robust fiscal stimulus, big government spending on infrastructure, disaster resilience, and digital upgrades. Takaichi's plan includes targeted tax breaks for companies that raise wages or invest in R&D, aligning business incentives with national goals. Strategic investments will focus on semiconductors, supply chain security, and energy independence, areas vital for Japan's future. Critics worry about ballooning public debt, but Takaichi argues that growth must come first in a low-interest world. Her fiscal push is both a short-term boost and a long-term bet on national security and competitiveness. The gamble that today's spending will generate tomorrow's prosperity. For Takaichi, inaction is the greater risk. The second arrow is her wager on Japan's future. The third arrow, structural reform, is the toughest and most crucial part of Sananomics. Takaichi targets labor market flexibility, corporate governance, and, notably, women's participation in the workforce. Womenomics is back, with policies to expand childcare, promote flexible work, and elevate women to leadership roles. With an aging, shrinking population, Japan can't afford to sideline half its talent. Yet, deep-rooted cultural norms and vested interests make reform slow and contentious. Takaichi's challenge: push through real change where her predecessors stalled. Success here could unlock Japan's true economic potential. The third arrow will test her political will and define her legacy. Takaichi's foreign policy centers on deepening the U.S.-Japan alliance, aiming for a golden age of partnership. Her rapport with President Trump, including a Nobel Peace Prize nomination, signals unwavering alignment with Washington. Together, they've spotlighted humanitarian issues like North Korean abductions, reinforcing the alliance's emotional and strategic bonds. Takaichi sees U.S. support as vital for her assertive defense agenda and economic ambitions. This close relationship is more than symbolism. It's the backbone of her entire strategy. By investing in the alliance, she seeks security, influence, and economic leverage. For Takaichi, the U.S.-Japan partnership is indispensable in a turbulent world. The U.S.-Japan alliance is now anchored by major economic deals: Japan's $550 billion investment in the U.S. and reciprocal tariff cuts on key exports. Takaichi ensures these investments benefit Japanese companies and jobs, creating a feedback loop of growth. Japan's increased purchases of U.S. goods further cement the partnership. Most crucially, a new agreement on critical minerals aims to break dependence on China for rare earths and high-tech materials. The U.S. and Japan will jointly secure and process these resources, building a resilient supply chain. This move is both economic and strategic, decoupling from China and safeguarding national security. Economic security and military security are now inseparable. The alliance is evolving to meet the challenges of the 21st century. Takaichi is transforming Japan's defense posture, moving from passive to proactive in response to China and North Korea. Her government is boosting defense spending, acquiring advanced weapons, and deepening military integration with the U.S. The joint visit to the USS George Washington with President Trump sent a clear message of unity and resolve. Critics worry about abandoning pacifist traditions and provoking neighbors, but Takaichi argues a stronger Japan is essential for regional stability. Her hawkish stance is controversial but reflects new strategic realities. For Takaichi, economic and military strength are inseparable. This shift is redefining Japan's role in Asia. The world is watching how far she'll go. Japan stands at a crossroads as Takaichi launches Sanae, a bold attempt to break decades of stagnation. If her mix of monetary easing, fiscal stimulus, and reform succeeds, Japan could see real growth, higher wages, and renewed global influence. The U.S. alliance adds security and economic clout, but the risks are daunting. Massive stimulus could strain public finances. Failure to reform could stall progress. External shocks, global downturns, U.S.-China tensions, could derail her plans. Takaichi's leadership will be tested by entrenched interests and unpredictable geopolitics. Her legacy hinges on results. Will Sanae deliver, or deepen Japan's challenges? The world is watching as she steers the world's third-largest economy through uncharted waters. Japan's future, and lessons for other aging advanced economies, hang in the balance.